Welcome to Chapman on Air. My name is Mia Ray, and I am here with the one and only Brian Chapman. Thank you for joining us for our 15-year anniversary special. Welcome back to Chapman on Air. This is part 3 of our 15-year anniversary special. We got to talk about the early days of CIG, and we even got to take it back to the days before CIG was formed. So now we're going to discuss the future of Chapman Insurance Group, and that discussion would not be complete without Janessa Weilan and Caleb Chapman. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
Welcome to the party.
What's the future like?
I just want to hear from you guys. You guys were here from the very beginning, right? Janessa, how long have you been with Chapman Insurance Group?
This is going into the 15th year, so just about completed the 14 years. My time at CIG, and Brian obviously started the agency back in 2009 in April and came on board shortly thereafter. It's been a good ride ever since.
No bumps, no waves.
No,
just, easy
just
ride.
smooth sailing.
Yeah, so I know we discussed this in the last episodes, the early days, but I want to hear just really briefly your take on the early days. What was it like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cool to be a part of something from the very beginning because you get to experience all the different stages and changes that happen along the way. Obviously, one office, like it's a little bit different when it's just, there was 4 of us in one office and you're just kind of sitting back waiting for the phones to ring and, you know, you're like, okay, what is this going to look like? How is this going to happen? And just kind of seeing that evolve from being able to sit at your desk and kind of like holler out and everybody in the office hears you to like now we have multiple offices and you learn just kind of how important that communication is of being able to keep up with people and being able to still have that family environment in an agency because you want to enjoy the people that you work around and you want to enjoy what you do, so that's reflected in our experience with our customers. So kind of taking it from the beginning and then to where we are now, seeing that evolve and change has been a cool process to be a part of.
Yeah, and are you still waiting around for the phones to ring?
No, that is certainly not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem for very long, but just, those initial days of kind of the unknown, of uncharted territory, you kind of take a leap of faith, you kind of take a risk and step out, and you hope that it pays off. And I know with good leadership and kind of the favor that we've had of just having good relationships along the way and connection with our community and with the people around us, I feel like that's kind of paved the way for us to have the success that we've had.
Yeah. So from 4 employees to how many do you have now?
Today we're just over the 65 number, and I think we're looking ahead. We have plans, kind of cast it out. The big audacious plans that are in the future to end up somewhere in the 150 to 175. That's what we've planned for today, executing on that. And
right.
Obviously there's many years to do that, but today just over 65.
How many offices are we at now?
Well, today we have 5 offices, Southwest Florida region of Florida, from Charlotte County down to Collier County. I think our long-term plans, geographically, kind of in that same window of personnel, is to be coastal Florida, south of I-4. So many people know that halfway mark of the state, if you go north, is I-4. So coastal Florida to include Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of our future geographical reach as we see it today.
Right. East Coast as well then.
Yeah, so south coast of Florida, so East Coast, the Keys all the way up, to Tampa, all the
whole
way over.
U.
Yeah, the whole U, the bottom of the horseshoe.
Plus Orlando.
Yep.
How long do you think it'll take to do that?
Right now, our plans, we had a 10-year plan developed, and we're about 8.5, just a little over 8.5, almost 9 years left in that plan. So, moving forward, maybe there's a little teaser for everyone at the end here with our newest location that'll be coming online in the midsummer here.
Yeah.
Just kind of executing and dialing in that plan. So.
Yeah. It's exciting.
I like that surprise.
Yeah. Are you waiting for it?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm excited.
So when Chapman Insurance Group started, was it all the same types of insurance that you do now, or is it?
We've expanded our offering and continue to expand it. We've always had one singular focus, and that's probably not going to change even in this 8.5 to 9 years that we have left in our 10-year plan, which has been, walls and wheels. And if it has a roof, that's us. If it has wheels, that's us. In the recreational world, boats and RVs and all the toys that we have. That's all part of that. In our space, we call that like the property and casualty space. And we've been very focused on that. We try to do everything we can to protect our clients and those assets that they have. We don't do a lot with health insurance. We do a very, very small amount with life insurance, and have, taken that old adage of, jack of all trades, master of none. And so we can't be everything to everyone. So let's focus on, what we can do really, really well. And within that, we've expanded, some of our product offerings, certainly our carrier offerings, certainly our services that are offered. All of that has ratcheted up, from the days of waiting around the phone for the phone to ring to today, where it's like, okay, how do we manage this volume of calls, and
Right.
What's our processes and procedures?
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
Definitely.
well, we like it when the phone rings.
Yes. So the main perk of working with Chapman Insurance Group is that you can call one place, right? And you can get most of your insurance.
Yeah, I mean, call us if it has insurance on it. That's what we do. And just the areas that we may not personally do at our company. Certainly we have sources and other great relationships. Right. So, we've kind of adopted the philosophy of, let's not say no, like don't call us. It says insurance. If it has insurance, call us.
Right.
And we'll direct you to the right resources if it's something that we don't offer.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, no, we don't do that, kind of adopting that philosophy of, yeah, but we have a solution for that with another party.
Right.
So.
And I think everybody learned a valuable lesson after Hurricane Ian. When everybody's trying to figure out, they lost their house, they lost their car, they're damaged all over the place, and they're trying to figure out how to get in touch with a lot of different companies. If everything was under one roof, that's one phone call.
Yeah, makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Also, let's talk a little bit about commercial insurance or business insurance, some people call it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where Caleb comes in. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you do?
So I started with the agency going back 4 years ago, and had a little bit of a different beginning, 15 years ago when I was still in, freshly out of middle school.
Maybe diapers.
So I got to see an interesting side of the growth of Chapman Insurance Group from being built into the family a little bit, but also just, being too young to be a part of really the beginning of what it looked like.
Kind of the outside looking in.
For sure,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was really neat to see that, and I think that was just seeing the groundwork of what you guys kind of established and built. But like I said, I joined about 4 years ago. One of the things I know, we have a main focus in, and something that we've kind of really cared to put a lot of time into and resources into, is that commercial insurance department, and even my role, even more specifically into some of the condo residential properties and things like that, Southwest Florida. There seems to be a lot of those.
We have a ton of condos.
A lot of condos around here. But so it's been a great opportunity with just kind of being a real point of contact resource for, commercial insurance and what those kind of clients need when they're, spending the money that they are on their businesses and some of these buildings that it's a need for sure. So I think it's just another arm that we have, to really kind of help those clients.
Yeah, and for people who don't have a full grasp of that, you mentioned condo association insurance. What else is under commercial insurance?
We do all sorts of contractors. It seems to be a big one that we deal with. What else, Brian? Professional liabilities,
businesses, medical,
absolutely,
small offices, small professional offices, large professional offices. We, being in Southwest Florida, I think on the commercial side, we've adapted to the needs of our clients here, right? So while we do have some, large manufacturing, we don't have a lot of it. Mm-hmm. So we focus on the things where the majority really falls, and the larger needs, while maybe small businesses, that's where we focus a lot of our energy and effort. So, I mean, it could be a pool service company, to, a roofer that's repairing roofs or new roofs. And you have, two completely different divisions, where one is a service related company that you would call if something breaks at your house. And then one is new construction.
Right.
So we've adapted to, kind of all of those environments, whether it's, service related, whether it's professional, which we have a lot of, professional, businesses, from attorneys to CPAs to insurance agencies. Like, and then you have people that you don't even know, the companies you don't even know exist because they're, light manufacturing or behind the scenes. And so we've kind of had to, be a chameleon to really embrace the businesses that are here in Southwest Florida to, focus intently on what their needs are.
Yeah. But I think that's something that we've been able to do well, like in growing out our team, obviously starting from scratch, and you're able to kind of be involved in the community and see what the needs are and then grow your business around that, which is something I think we've done well. I mean, specifically on our commercial side, we have actually two sectors of our commercial team, one that focuses on the small business and one that focuses on the larger commercial. As you're evolving as a business, how do we want to set this up? Because having people that specialize in certain areas is important to be able to meet the needs that our clients have.
Right.
So we want them to call and know that they're talking to somebody that specializes in something that's unique to them and can really tailor that and be fitting to the needs that they have and understand those needs. I mean, if you have a large commercial business, your needs and what you're expecting from your insurance agent or insurance agency is going to be a little bit different than if you have, a general contractor or, somebody that's just looking for a liability. Those needs are different. So being able to meet both of those needs involves training your team and having team members that focus specifically in that area. So with the growth of our team, I feel like we've really been able to get involved in our communities and being able to kind of adapt to the needs that we're seeing present and immediate and being able to be responsive to that. So that's been cool to see as we've grown our team and evolved. It's like, okay, we're seeing this need. We can't meet it right now, so let's bring in somebody to be able to meet that need.
Right.
And so we've kind of grown organically that way.
See a need,
Growth.
fill a need, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a brief break and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the future of CIG.
Serving you is our policy. Chapman Insurance Group.
One of the questions we're being asked a lot right now is, why are my insurance rates increasing? One of the main drivers of the cost of your insurance policy is something called reinsurance that's behind the scenes. That cost used to be about 20 to 30% of your policy premium, and today it's nearly 50% for every dollar that you buy of insurance. This is very similar in an analogy to the milk that you buy off of a shelf. The cost to feed the cow has increased, the cost of bottling has increased, the cost of delivery of the product to the shelf has increased, and therefore we as consumers are paying more. One thing you can count on though from Chapman Insurance Group is that we will find the most competitively priced product with the best options for you, and that's a guarantee you can count on.
CIG.
So we're still discussing the future of CIG. So I will go to Brian.
I think one of the things that we've got to put out there first, which is facing all Floridians right now, is the increased cost of insurance. When you're having, 25%, you think that, man, that's exceptional rate increases. And then when you have 50%, you think how is this even possible? And we have, situations now that are unheard of where it's 100% or 200%. One that crossed my desk the other day, 300%. I mean, just really unbelievable rate changes that, you can't plan for that. If I were to walk in or talk to a client and say, hey, expect 300%, that just it's not a real conversation that you could have because it's so unexpected. So I think Floridians know we're dealing with rate increases. We're dealing with troubles with flood insurance. I think where our part comes in on that, outside of the products and the availability and how we align ourselves for the future of our clients, is by being politically involved. Because at the end of the day, the companies are here and they operate under the state guidelines and the state oversight, and they have approval to be here. But our elected officials control the narrative of what they do and how they do it. And so, us being politically involved and realizing that situation is taking place, a lot of that involvement from our agency falls to me, and that is in constant correspondence with our local delegate, and then also our state association, which is Florida Association of Independent Agents, and being involved at the board level there, because at the end of the day, the FAI represents insurance agencies, but I think we would quickly say, and the most important thing within that is Floridians that are buying insurance. And so we're the largest voice. I've taken the board position there. I'm involved I'm the PAC chair for our national, which is a political action committee. We basically raise money to advocate for, the proper insurance pricing and products ultimately benefiting the consumer. And I think the other thing is, being available and having the expertise that we have in our insurance agency and leveraging that to where when there's a conversation happening on the floor about, what's the right policy here, really in the weed conversation, like way, like but it's the most annoying stuff, to be honest with you. Politics is just annoying, is, giving clarity on what should be done and at least allowing the decision makers to know what the right decision is for insurance and for Floridians and ultimately for our clients. And at least we can have a voice in that conversation and provide clarity on what needs to be done. Now, I can't vote for them on the floor, but I think us having the opportunity to present, what's right for our clients ultimately helps us in our agency because, we need availability of carriers and we don't have that right now. Like, we need more product to be able to write for our clients. We need less regulation, less requirements, underwriting requirements. Like, everything right now is completely scrutinized when we're trying to write a new piece of business. And we need, frankly, to have insurance carriers that can make money. And like, that's a dirty thing to say and people don't like it, but they're just like any other business. If they're not making money, then they can't stay in business. And so we really don't have any of those things right now. And I think, looking at the political future, we knew we needed to get involved. So, I had a political announcement, but I'm not running for office. But I think I know all of our local delegation. I know I've spoken to many not local as well in other counties and other jurisdictions. And they understand that there's a problem and there's a crisis. And they passed some significant legislation in December that we were intimately involved with. And then they realized some of the things they passed weren't as what they intended. And so I've been intimately involved in the conversations, to the decision makers that are leading the charge on this, saying this is what we need to change. And it's been very rewarding because some of those changes, when they go into session, will be resolved and will be done. And in my opinion, in the way that I said they should be done, which doesn't always happen. And so that, you feel really good when you provide input and then it's actually done exactly with what you said. So that means you're making an impact. And ultimately, I think helping our clients at the end of the day save money on the insurance products they buy.
Yeah, you're going
So
for them.
With anything, it takes time. So, with the decisions that are being made today, it's going to take a while for those to have, the positive repercussions that we can pass along to the clients. But I think just knowing that you are representing an agency that is an advocate for their client, like actively on a daily basis and involved in that level, I think that's something that's unique for us. Like, a lot of agencies can't say that. And I think along with that comes, the transfer of that knowledge and information. Brian being able to be involved in some of those conversations at that level allows our team to have a more intimate understanding of some of those things, to be able to communicate effectively and properly to our clients so that they can understand what's going on. So I think, just being able to pass that information along and being able to be an advocate, you feel like, okay, we might not be able to flip the switch and make a difference
Right.
in these specifically in the rates that they're seeing tomorrow. But at the same time, we know that we're taking the action that's going to have the long-term impact that's going to benefit them.
Yeah.
No, certainly, and I no doubt about it. I think just from the top down, having the most up-to-date information, the most, what's the changes coming, what are the things happening, I think make all the front-end agents, all of, just Chapman Insurance Group better.
Yeah.
Certainly.
and I think you're doing it better than the others, or you're more involved than the others, if we don't want to be as critical and say better, when the others, meaning our competition, is calling us, asking us, hey, what do you know about this? What's changing with this? And like we absolutely know. Like, we have the answers to those questions because we are that much more involved. So that's usually a good signal. I think on the, talking to the clients and presenting the information, It doesn't make it feel any better,
Right.
but at least they understand,
Right.
where we are and kind of where we're headed, and what they can expect in the future. And I think that's comforting. It doesn't make you feel better, but it's comforting.
Right. I was
So,
going to ask how that feels. They don't want to hear that their rate's going up, but how does it feel to be the person to have to tell them that?
it's somewhat tiresome because, people are outraged and upset and, how is this legal? And, who approved this? And, it's complicated. It definitely takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and multiple phone calls, with the thousands of clients that we talk to.
Right.
But that's what we do, and that's why we're here. So
Yeah. And let's set the record straight. Chapman Insurance Group is not the ones raising the rate, right? Like that's not what's happening here.
listen, I'd give away insurance for free if I could. But yeah, we don't control any of the pricing.
Yeah, you discussed a little bit ago in another video that we did about reinsurance.
I think the future involvement with reinsurance as it impacts our agency, Florida is a reinsured state. Carriers buy insurance. They have a deductible just like you have a deductible on your policy, and you pay a premium for your policy. The insurance company pays a premium for their reinsurance policy. That's really the driver of our cost and our increases because we're a reinsurance state. Any coastal or large, cat area is basically hamstrung by reinsurance until we can put some pressure and show a few less storms and a few less losses and drive the reinsurance cost down. We're not going to see much lowering of the rate. I do think that we're gonna see some rate curvature probably in the 18 to 24 month window, but it's going to be more so because competition enters the market and not necessarily because the reinsurance costs have gone down.
Right.
So
Yeah, simple theory of supply and demand. The more availability that you have, it's going to drive down the cost some. So that is certainly an issue that we're seeing in the market.
We've taken 8 or 9 companies, maybe 10, completely off, out of Florida. They've
Yeah.
failed, gone into liquidation. Well,
Right.
60 carriers were here, and you take 10, now you have 50. That's a big market change.
And even the ones still present, they're inspecting kind of their book of business and their risk associated to that.
Right.
And so they're being very conservative right now. So they have measures in place to make sure that they're not taking on more risk than what they can handle, which means less availability.
They're not writing.
Yeah.
I think that those things, while we can control and be involved in them, that's market cycle. That's market cyclical. I think for us, looking at how we adapt to that in the future of like creating a claims team, that focuses on our clients that have claims. Like most insurance agencies do not have a claims team. They tell you to deal with the carrier for your claim. And yet that for me was like, I'm used to taking this claim and like being involved in this claim. And so that, that's something that we have in place. Thank you, Ian, kind of evolving and getting better. A retention team, for our existing clients, like inside our agency. Retention sometimes is a bad word. We're not talking about when you call Comcast and they transfer you 5 times to some other
Nobody
person
wants
to
to
try
be in
to
that cycle.
save your account. But we proactively do it. So we look at our clients' policies and identify ones where we say, hey, this is an outlier. This doesn't make sense. And to the tune of hundreds of policies and try to figure out, is there a better place, for this client than where they currently are? And that's something that will just continue to expand for us in the future. I think when we specifically look at, the just how do we really grow to the next days of Chapman Insurance Group, I think it starts inside. It's not a fabulous answer, not maybe very exciting for people, for customers, but if it's explained, then they get it. And that's focusing on our culture. If you're healthy on the inside, you're healthy on the outside, right? You go home every day and family life is tough. It's tough, right? If family life is good, it's a lot easier on the outside. And so we've really done a good job of focusing internally, creating a culture, a happy workplace that produces that same happiness when we talk to clients. and that's a focus, right?
And I
right
think
now for us.
with that, I feel like, every opportunity that we have, I think it's present in our team members of, every time that they pick up the phone, every time they have a client come in their office, like their goal is, hey, I want to make you a fan of what we do. I want to make you a fan of Chapman Insurance Group. And that's the goal of that interaction. So even though there's challenges that we're facing and we have, a lot of things happening industry related, and we might not always be dealing on the positive or, the feel good conversations with our clients, they, I think, have an understanding that we are doing all that we can do and we're trying to be proactive. I think we will always be that agency that will continue to adapt to the needs of our client and what's taking place, whether that's technology needs, whether that's creating new teams within our team, a claims team, whether that's a retention team. All of those things have come about as a result of a need that we've seen and being able to meet. And I think that that's a promise that we can make to our clients, is that we're to continue to adapt in those ways that make us available to them, and that make us, be able to advocate for them and be able to continue to assist them with everything insurance related. So being that, resource of knowing that they can call, they can talk to somebody that's knowledgeable, that they can get good information. Or sometimes if you don't have the answer, it's saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to find out for you. And being able to know that we have the resources to find out, and seeing a problem and knowing that we have the resources to be able to find a solution to them. Right. So just kind of following through with that promise. I mean, that's what we want to
So
communicate
important
to the clients.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, another initiative moving forward, it's been a game plan that we've had, but just expanding, is our community involvement.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know the people in your community, then you don't know the needs, and you don't know, what's important to them. And so from a giving standpoint, of generosity, but then also from just being involved and trying to make your community better.
An investment.
The investment of time,
Right.
Yeah.
sometimes not even the money, just the time investment. That absolutely is an integral part of, the future for us. I think the connection piece is probably, we call it the 3 C's, culture, connection, and community. But the connection piece is probably just always staying in that communication cycle with our clients. Like the connection is what is most missed many times. Right. It's the customer service is dead philosophy, right? There's no more customer service. And if we can stay connected and stay in front of our customer with information, podcasts like this, fun times like this, that they can feel that connection. And with that comes a warmth that, most businesses don't provide.
Yeah. I heard something, it was probably an older video where it said that when you set out to create the company, you just wanted a company that picked up the phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't that hard, right?
And 15 years
Simpler
later,
times.
almost, you call and there's somebody picking up the phone.
Yeah.
So.
And sometimes it's that simple. That is the number one complaint that we hear from people, that have had experiences outside of our agency is, hey, I can't get a hold of anybody. I've called and I haven't gotten a call back. And so, that seemingly simple promise of, hey, we're going to call you back. We try to follow through with that. And sometimes it's a matter of setting the stage with just the simple things of, the customer service, the expectations that the client has, and being able to meet those expectations. Sometimes they're not, those demands aren't very high. When you look at our industry, it's like, okay, the bar's set fairly low in some situations. And we want to be we want to be leading that. We want to be setting the bar higher because we understand that that's where you make the difference. And that's where you make the difference for your clients. That's where that connection comes in and that relationship and trust is built when, you can lead the way and set that bar and allow them to experience something that they can't experience somewhere else.
Right. And I want to touch on something part of the 3 C's community. This is not something that I think any of you would really talk about very often, but somebody who's kind of from the outside looking in, the outreach that you guys do in the company with the community, different charities you get involved in, the things that you guys did after Hurricane Ian, no posts on social media. I noticed.
Yes.
No posts, but I was in the community at an event a few months ago, and so many people came up to the booth and mentioned a time when the Chapman family was there for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that you probably don't even remember because that's just what you do. But that attitude trickles through the company, and you
Yeah.
see other people getting involved, and to see that happen through such a difficult time it's inspiring, really. But it's really special to see from a company.
Yeah, I mean,
company.
it's definitely, a kind of a giver's gain perspective or a giver's heart perspective. If you give, it'll be given to you. And, it's kind of been our mantra, from day one is, and the irony of that is that the more that you give, it's an unbelievable wave that actually comes back to you. It's kind of our DNA. It's our nucleus of who we are.
Yeah.
So.
And with a growing team, I think those opportunities become more. It's like, what you can do as 5 people, your reach is a little bit shorter. But when you have a team of 65 or 70 people, like, your reach becomes a little bit further. And everybody knows somebody that needs something. Everybody knows somebody that has a need. And, just being able to kind of internally take a look at our team and say, okay, what are the needs that you have? Let's start meeting those. And then beyond that, who do you know that has a need, and how can we step in? And being able to see kind of that trickle effect gives our team members pride in what they're doing too. It's not about, the insurance that you write at the end of the day. I mean, it is to a certain extent, because that's the promise, but it's about those relationships, and it's about taking a genuine approach on what you do, of saying, hey, we care about the people we work with. We care about our clients. We care about the people in our community. And we want to extend that beyond just providing an insurance service, but being involved and investing in them.
Yeah, and that sincerity cannot be faked.
So are we going to talk about this new location? Or what?
Yeah. I'm sorry. You seem really excited.
I've been waiting
about
over here
We
for
got
this.
out on a super serious
Yes,
trail there.
yeah, for sure.
Gotta
Well,
add some fun.
so Chapman Insurance Group is growing. It doesn't look like it's slowing down. So, Brian, where are we going next?
I mean, coastal Florida to include Orlando, south of I-4. Our next stop is, we've had an offer accepted on Naples location. So we are headed to Naples.
Permanent spot.
It's a permanent spot. We'll have about 3,700 square feet there. Currently have about 5 team members that'll start there, so it'll feel like a mega house when they get in there. But with plans to probably have that office fully built out in about 3 to 5 year window.
Yeah.
So Naples, here we come.
Yeah.
We are
Here
headed
we
to
come.
you guys.
And I think you'll fill those seats.
We're ready to go.
Yeah.
It's an exciting market for us to go to.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint.
And the momentum has been built there. So it's like, okay, we've been kind of, just holding back a little bit of just ready to make the move. And I feel like the time is coming.
Timing's
So
right.
we're
Yeah.
excited.
We're there.
And if anybody can appreciate that connection and that personal attention to detail, it's definitely our friends over in Naples. So,
Absolutely.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Are
Absolutely.
you super shocked with our announcement?
That's exciting.
Brand new information,
It is
huh?
exciting. It is exciting.
We've been talking about it internally, so I think most of our team is probably aware of it. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap up. This was a wonderful 15-year anniversary special. But before we close off, Brian, do you want to give a message to your
I mean,
clients?
our promise to our clients and future clients that are listening here on the podcast is that we want to create results for you. That is our initiative for you. That's our focus for you. And ultimately, our goal is to create a steadfast fan. A steadfast fan meaning you tell others about the great experience that you had for us, and our fan and our fan club. So exceptional results and steadfast fan. That's our purpose, and that's what we want to provide to you. So if you haven't worked with us, or you have, we'd love for you to tell your story if you have. And if you haven't worked with us, give us a shot, and we'll take care of your needs.
Yeah. And Naples, here we come.
And Naples here.
Or here we
CIG.
are.
CIG.
CIG.
CIG.